Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this meeting. My name is Alistair Moss. I'm Chairman of the Planning and City Development Committee at Westminster Council. The idea of this evening, as I'm sure you're all aware, is to discuss, as part of the LDF process and our formulating the city management plan, two items on that, planning obligations and then retail. The idea of this evening is very much to hear everyone's views and for officers here to note those views as part of the ongoing consultation process. Just to emphasise, I think it's unlikely we will come to consensus, and it's not the idea of this evening, we'll come to consensus on these points. If you just state your views, please be assured that they will be noted and that they will be taken away by officers as part of this process. The other thing I should mention is that, as well as being amplified, what you say this evening will be recorded. If you feel that you'd like to make comments in writing or by other means and not in public, then you should feel free to make those comments to officers. And I think you should have details on what's been given out to you this evening as to how you can make those comments. Likewise, if you feel if there isn't the opportunity this evening to make your points or you'd like to make further points, that is all part of the ongoing process. I thought it would be useful, just before we kick off and I hand over to Lisa, is to say that I think before we found it helpful to introduce ourselves so we know where we're coming from, and for you to do likewise, given that there aren't a huge number of people here this evening. So if we could just briefly say who we are and where we're from, then you'll know something about us. So.
Hello, good evening. My name's Hilary Skinner. I'm actually here to talk about retail in the second half of this session, working in City Management team on the planning policy.
My name's Lisa O'Donnell. I'll explain a bit later what I'm here for, but I'm the neutral facilitator for this evening.
Good evening. My name's Sarah Zulmahmood. I also work for the City Planning Group, and I'm looking at the planning obligations policies in the City Management Plan and working with my colleague, Rachel, who will introduce herself shortly, on the review of the SPD on planning obligations.
My name's Graham King, Planning City Development Department.
My name's Mike Walton. I'm Planning Officer in the Central Area Team dealing with planning applications.
Rachel Ferry-Jones, City Planning Group.
And my name's Margaret Handosky and I'm from the City Planning Group as well.
And if we just work from that row, if you want to say your names and just where you're from, that would be great.
Paul Wells, Maiden, Land Security. Peter Mill, Land Securities. David Kenningham, CDRE.
Charles Walton, Stanford. Mike Fern from Shire Consulting. Alan Watson from the Council Property Division.
Brian Woodham from the St James Conservation Trust.
Richard Dickinson from the New West End Company.
Mark Curry from Grosvenor.
David Nicholson from Butler Kelly, which is a public affairs company.
Pascal Bates from Victoria Interchange Group, which is a local residents and users society.
Steve Simpson from the Victoria Interchange Group.
Matthew Bennett, Service Society.
John Richards, Knightford.
Danielle Topping, Westminster Property Division. Nicola Forster, BNP Paribas Exchange.
Michael Derbyshire Savills.
Ruth Bush, Minority Party Councillor, Harry Rayborn, member of one of the planning subcommittees.
Anthony Bradley,
Trustee at
Barton Collins, DP9.
Richard Hilly-Brown, Derwent, London.
Hugh Bullock, Gerald Eve on behalf of WPA.
Rob Lyons from the Church Commissioners.
Alistair Smart, Crown Estate.
Keith Hearn, CBRE.
Alistair Christie from Pocket.
Edward Davis Gilman, Knightsbridge Association.
Great. I think that's very useful. Well, without further ado, hand over.
Thank you very much. As I said, I'm here tonight as the neutral facilitator. I'm a planning officer and manage the process of delivering planning policy. But my role here tonight is just to make sure that these meetings stick to time and that we cover all the questions that we need to, that everybody has the opportunity to speak, and that all of the views that are put forward tonight are properly recorded and clarified if there's any question and we don't quite understand what it is that people are suggesting we put in the planning policy document. So that's my role here tonight. I just wanted to note there is a roaming microphone, so depending on how much trouble we have picking up the sound for the recording, you may be asked to use the microphone, which I'm sure would be fine. And the reason we are recording this is it's going to form our documentation for going to the independent examination for the inspector to consider our document whether or not it's sound once we finish it. So it's very important to us to have that recording. The recordings will also be made publicly available on the council's website, so you can always go back and listen to what you said at a later time. I also note that there's flip charts and post-its on the walls. If we run out of time, please feel free to write whatever comments you like on the walls, and they'll be recorded alongside any verbal comments that have been made. If you do have a mobile on, it does interfere with the sound, particularly when you're using the roaming mic, so just be aware it's helpful if they're turned off. And toilets, men's are on this side and ladies are on the other side of the building.